y'all. Hey y'all, welcome back to another video. It's Keta here. If you're new to this channel, hi, my name is Keta. Welcome to Keta's Corner. I am not in my usual setup. I'm in my boyfriend's house. So we're making do, and we got the microphone, so that's all I gotta say. Without further ado, welcome to the first video of 2024. Happy New Year's, happy holidays. I know you haven't heard from me in a while. My hair looks a hot mess, but we're not gonna talk about it right now, okay? Yeah, you haven't heard from me in a long time, and I apologize. I'm so sorry. I've been recovering, but this year, 2024, I'm manifesting is gonna be the year of great content, okay? I am rejuvenated. I am back at it, okay? Thank you. So guys, I hope your holidays were really good, and we're gonna go into like this first semester recap because, as you may or may not have known, I am a freshman now going into my spring semester of college, and I go to the University of Maryland, and yeah. So I'm gonna go for like my first fall semester and what it was like, different like aspects of it. We're gonna like wing it as we go because I'm not even sure of the different aspects that I'm gonna talk about. So yeah. So I got our boxes unpacked. First day of classes. Campus. So the first aspect I'm going to talk about is living on campus. So that in itself is a whole lot to unpack. Fall semester, I did live in the Cambridge community with scholars in general, but I am in media scholars, which I'll talk about more later. But the move-in process, I'll talk about first. So first things first, it is not what they depict it to be, okay? There's a video on YouTube for like the University of Maryland, and they're like, oh yeah, move-in day tips, yada yada yada, and it is not at all how they make it seem. It is 10 times more hectic, and it's just so much that you basically have to do for yourself. Like, you're basically essentially fending for yourself. Like, okay, they'll be like, okay, you know, this carts and stuff, bookie, bring your own. Like, bring your own, okay? If you are going into college or living on campus for your first time, bring your own method to get your stuff to your room, because those carts that they had, there was like maybe 20 of them, and everyone was moving. It wasn't, so the good thing is that everyone wasn't moving in at the same time. They had different time slots, but essentially the time slot meant that that's the earliest that you can get there. So people were coming when they felt like it. And so it was like this huge surge of people coming in the afternoon. And not only do you have to get your stuff up to your room, what I did was I did like a video first of like a room inspection type of thing, so I could keep track of like what was broken, but like, you know, like things that I needed to keep track of, which they don't really tell you also, because you need to make sure, like, you need to fill out this form when you live on campus before, like, within the week that you move in, to basically say like what was already damaged when you got there. So yeah, but I filmed that video, and then I started like moving my stuff upstairs, and I carried, the mistake that I made, admittedly, is I carried my stuff in boxes, which I do not recommend. Because you're gonna throw those boxes away, and it's just gonna take up space. Like, it's like, you know, it's a waste, you know? And I feel as though investing in reusable like IKEA bags is so much better, and it helps you not to overpack. Because now, if you are moving within the state, like in state to your college, or at least in the University of Maryland, I recommend carrying the necessities for the month, whatever month you move in, for that move-in day, okay? Now, hear me out. You're like, Keta, what about the rest of my stuff? When am I gonna get my stuff? I'm not gonna have time. Oh my God. Don't worry, right? I recommend you carrying what you need for that month, for that season, for that little bit of time, just for a month, right? Then you'll realize, okay, I don't really need this. I need this. And then you can go to suit, okay? Because you are always going to need to go back to get your rest of your stuff. Like, realistically, you're moving out, but you're not moving out, if that makes sense. Carrying all your stuff to college is a terrible idea, because you also have to consider seasons change. You're going to be there for several seasons, and you're going to need to have that room, because not only are you're moved in, right? Like, I moved in, but then I went to Target and we went fall decor shopping. We went winter decor shopping. Like you're gonna get more stuff, okay? And if you don't have enough room to support all this stuff, it's just like, Bookie, what are you doing? Bookie, what are you doing? In terms of community with living on campus, I love the Cambridge community so bad. I love it so bad. It's so amazing because of the fact that, like, everyone kind of, like, in media scholars, I will talk about this more later, but in media scholars, you really have, like, a community. Like, you'll see them, like, in the halls, and in your dining, in the dining halls, yeah, but also you'll see them, like, in your hall, like, in, like, Cumberland Hall, for example. But then you'll also be walking around, like, Cambridge community, and it's just so beautiful sometimes, like, especially in the fall season. The leaves were falling, and it was just such a vibe. It was a vibe. The vibes were there, okay? And so it's a nice place to be. Like, they have, like, a little hammock area. You know, you got to bring your own hammock, of course. They have benches. Like, it's a nice little vibe, you know? But you really got to be into it to be into it, okay? I will say, college is not gonna always entice itself for you, okay? If you want to be entertained, you have to go and find the entertainment, okay? Okay? Because what I struggled with my first semester was being like, oh my god, okay, now what? Okay, I did this, now what? Like, now what? What's next? Like, because you basically have to freeball it. Like, you just gotta go with the motions, because no one's gonna tell you what's next. You gotta figure out for yourself what you want to be next. It's a level of independence that you didn't know that you had or needed or was going to get until you got it. So that's basically all I gotta say about that. And for my media program, I think, honestly speaking, I know you may hate me for saying this if you've already decided that you want to go to UMD, College Park specifically. But if you are going into UMD and have not found you a club, an extracurricular, a sport, a program, something to be part of, don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it, okay? Because it is a large campus. Like, extra stress on large, okay? Like, especially me, if I wasn't in media scholars, they had, like, several activities planned up from the day you moved in. We moved in early, and there was, like, different activities that we had until, like, first day of classes. I would have lost my mind if I didn't have media scholars with me those first couple of days, because it's just like you going into this new place, especially if you're not from, like, the College Park area or whatever. You go into this new place and they're like, bam, do what you want. And you're like, what you mean what I want? Like, what do I want? You know what I mean? Like, I went through some early life crises. Like, it's gonna get rough. So I definitely suggest being a part of some type of program where you can feel like you're in your own little community, where you feel heard, accepted, you know, cared for, all of the things, you know, where you're not feeling like you're just a number, because that's definitely not what you want in a college. So yeah. My boyfriend ate down with this. So, also, you may have seen, like, the video, the little clip of, like, the fire. Let me talk about that real quick. Okay, if you haven't seen my short, go check it out. I might link it in one of the tabby thingies, of course. Is my camera lens dirty? Like, hold on. While I was recording and the microphone stopped. My bad, y'all. My bad. I'm so sorry. If you see my pinky, we don't see it, okay? You don't see my pinky. Thank you. Anyways, but back to what I was saying. If you saw the fire clip, let's talk about this real quick. If you don't know how to cook, a college dorm may not be the best place for you to experiment with that, because why the first day of class is some guy with burnt mac and cheese? I'm talking the Kraft mac and cheese. Enough about that. So, talking about food now, okay? I will say the dining hall food is what you want it. It is what you make it, okay? Like, honestly, if you want to experiment and do a little bit of dabbling with this and this, it's giving buffet style. You pick and choose what you want to eat, okay? Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad, sometimes the meats are kind of questionable, but it really depends on, like, you know, what you make of it. Of course, it's not gonna be some Gordon Ramsay type stuff, you know. The chicken nuggets may not even be Chick-fil-A quality at that. It will taste frozen sometimes, but at the end of the day, if you got money to buy food elsewhere, do it. That's all I gotta say to you, Boogie. Invest in them dining dollars. Invest in them dining dollars. And even if you don't like the food on campus, of course there are other places that you can eat from. So that's not really a concern for me. But it is one of the things I considered while applying and accepting a spot at UMD. So yeah. I did try a bunch of new foods. I did try Qdoba for the first time at college. What else did I try? I went to District Taco in DC. That was pretty good. There's also one near the College Park area, so that's great. I had a lot of Panera. Go ahead and invest when you're moving in. If you haven't moved in already, go ahead and, I don't care how strong your immune system is, get that teas prepared. Get you some NyQuil, DayQuil at the ready, prepared, because you're gonna need it, okay? Even if you're not sick, the moment you start feeling that sickness, come on, go ahead, NyQuil it up, them 30 milliliters, go ahead, just do it to yourself, okay? Because the worst thing is the floor getting sick and you being like, oh, I'm not sick yet. Oh, I'm not sick yet. Especially if you're in a co-ed dorm, because them boys don't know how to take care of themselves right, and they end up getting the whole floor sick. Yes, I'm salty, and what? Anyways, moving on. I think I had a decent day. My favorite class is English, which sucks because English is my last class and it feels like it was the shortest. But I think I had like a pretty decent day, I guess, like for the first day of college. I think tomorrow is definitely gonna be a little bit better. Judging by the fact that like I have 2 classes and enough time to get to them. So yeah, that's basically how my day went. In the meantime, just some me time. Crib by the beach like Odell. Over my killers don't tell. Shut over my cause I New York the show. Okay, so my first day of classes was very hectic. As you may or may not know already, one of the primary forms of transportation on campus, like within campus, there's a lot of e-bikes, there's a lot of bikes, there's a lot of scooters, there's a lot of e-scooters, there's a lot of like bus transportation. It's very busy streets, and yet somehow people still think that they can drive on them. So if you are one of those people where you think you can drive to class, no you can't. No you can't, Boogie. Not unless you have nowhere to go, because unless if you're leaving 30 minutes ahead of time, like, I kid you not, like, don't do it to yourself, especially on Regents Drive. Especially don't do it to yourself. Like, you have better luck getting out and walking, because it's like the foot traffic is heavy. It's very heavy. Them scooters, they be dangerous. Yes, I do have a scooter. No, I am not dangerous. Yes, other people do have scooters. Yes, they are dangerous. Don't get it twisted. I'm not, they are, period. So, I will say, I did start off this semester with, I think, 16 credits, if I'm not mistaken. I'm going to tell you what classes I was in. I was in Math 115. I was in Sociology 105. I was in English 101S. That's the Scholars English. And I was in College Park Media Scholars and Foundations of Education. And I think that's it, if I'm not mistaken. If I forgot one, I'll interject it here. But those are the classes that I took fall semester. So I was in 5 classes at the beginning of the semester. I ended the semester with 4 classes. And I had A's and 1B. So I'm going to tell you about my classes that I dropped. During the add drop period, I did drop Sociology 105 because it was boring. I don't like the lecture style of classes where they're just like talking the whole time and fast and you don't have enough time to even write things down, and it just felt like I was just being spewed information that I genuinely did not care about. So I didn't like that at all. So I dropped that class, and during the add drop period, you can drop without any consequences if you didn't know. So yeah. And after the add drop period, before the withdrawal period ends, I did withdraw from Math 115 because I was failing miserably. Math 115? Bookie. Hated it. Hated pre-calculus with a heart, so passion, okay? Pre-calculus is the most stupidest thing I have ever taken in my entire life. Like, it's worse than high school math. Like, it's worse than high school math because you're doing college level work for stupid math. Like, I'm sorry. I would never, ever need to know how to transform this function in a way. It was just so ridiculous. It was just so ridiculous. I can't do it. I hated Math 115, and I withdrew from the class, which means I took the W on my transcript. So it's going to say that I withdrew from the class. I did do that because I did want to salvage my GPA. I didn't want to like harm it with a bad grade in that class. It wasn't worth it. So next semester I am taking Statistics 100 to fulfill both of those credits. So it's like time was never lost. But I would say like really think deep and hard. Like don't do overachieving stuff on your maths, okay? Like don't cheat on your math placement test, and don't do so terrible, because if you do so terrible on it, then you have to get into like a pre-math that costs $300. It's called a special math that costs $300, okay? So unless you got that money to spend and time to waste, then okay, but Bookie, it's not me. It's not on me over here. So yeah. Foundations of Education, I loved that class so much. It was really discussion based with the professor that I had, and I loved it so much. It was just like it was one of those places where we could talk like really raw talks, like unfiltered for the most part. Like we just really said like what it was, and it wasn't really like, oh, this is what the education system is like, rainbows. It was more like, this is the shit it has evolved to, which I appreciate because it was very real and gave me like this like fresh mindset of what the education system is going to be like as a future teacher. So yeah, I'm sorry I didn't mention that before. I'm a secondary education and English double major, so yeah, if that's helpful, I don't know. But my English class was pretty regular. It's English, like you do like one cumulative project basically, and just like doing different parts of it throughout the semester. At least that was English 101S. I don't know about the other English classes. And Media Scholars was just like my media program. We started like building our e-portfolio. It was pretty simple. I really like being in Scholars, so that's amazing. We also got to go on like different trips, if that counts. I don't know if I'm going to insert clips from like when we went to DC, but we went to DC on a trip. And we went to the National... Not gonna hold you, I don't remember the name of the museum, but it was cool, I guess. I'm gonna like insert like the tag of the video that I made about it, so you can watch it. It's cool. Drawing blanks and what else I did, so I guess it was interesting enough to mention.
'Cause baby, it's the everything for me, for me, for me. Baby, it's the everything for me, for me, oh, for me.
So the next thing I'm talking about is work life, I guess. I did have a job on campus and a job off campus. Off campus, I did tutoring 2 days a week, and I did work at the ticket booth for the Department of Athletics on campus. So football games, soccer games, like you can really choose which game. I love that job so much, and it was such an easy job to have and maintain on campus, if that makes sense. Like, because everything was basically like walking distance. It was like right there. Like, you don't work away games, so you're just like in that general area, and it's a really good opportunity to meet new people. All my coworkers were so amazing. I loved all my coworkers, and it was really fun. Like, we just like chatted, like we just talked, and we did like our jobs clearly, but like game days, we got there early, we saw the process. It was a really nice thing. Like, it was like really, it felt really nice to be like a behind the scenes type of person. So I was really there for that. I'm failing to remember what else we did. I loved having an on-campus job. I think it's one of the best jobs to have as a college student, mainly because they're really understanding of like your workload and like your scheduling. So for the teehee booth specifically, we like made our own schedules. Like, we chose which shifts we wanted to work. So it's really great for like stressful months. So, like, if you know, for example, if you know, like me, December is going to be a busy month. I just took off the whole month, and that worked for me. But there are certain mandatory shifts you may have to work, so keep that into consideration. But they're really understanding. The pay is like $15 an hour for the most part, roughly. So yeah, that was nice. My off-campus job was also rejuvenating, to like just be off of campus and like kind of like separate myself from it to an extent. It can get very overwhelming and get overbearing from time to time, because you're just like always there. But I will say, I do love UMD. It's great. Cozy. My social life off campus, which was very important to me also, because my boyfriend does not go to UMD with me, so I do have to like make conscious time and effort to go hang out with him and like be with him and things of the sort. So we did go out a bit this semester. I'm so like grateful for the different opportunities I had, like to go see SZA. David opened for SZA, so that was also like amazing, like killing two birds with one stone. And so I saw SZA and David, and we went to Disney on Ice, which is definitely like a healing my inner child moment. I loved Disney on Ice. It was just like, it was a vibe, and it was just like a way of like grounding me again, being like, okay, the world will not stop spinning if you stop studying for one night. Like, that's realistically what it boils down to. Just having like a good like social life balance was important to me. So yeah, I think I did a pretty good job in like maintaining that. So after the semester was over, I did my finals. I didn't really have any final exams, so I can't really talk about that. I did have some final essays. The best thing I can say with that is just don't procrastinate. So yeah. If you enjoyed this video, thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one.